right now, just stop and look. These are live pictures out of Hawaii. This is the Kilauea volcano. Lava just shooting up from the ground.
Yeah, this comes after the volcano erupted yesterday, spewing ash and smoke. The rain helped prevent the ash from spreading too far, but there were still lingering effects.
When you live this close, it's kind of terrifying to think that it could be your backyard. I mean, it's just a skip and a jump and it's in your backyard.
Right now at 5:30 here at home, another fire over at the Wetlands Park on the east side.
Neighbors we spoke with say it worries them every time this happens. This is a live look right now from Live Drive.
It sparked yesterday afternoon and firefighters are on the scene monitoring it this morning.
And we see a few flames there, but mostly just smoldering. But again, crews are right there keeping a close eye.
Well, police arrested the masked man with a gun who was inside the Boulevard Mall last night. So many officers showed up thinking this could turn into an active shooter situation.
Reporter Parker Collins is live near Maryland Parkway and Desert Inn with what the Department of Homeland Security wants you to know. Parker?
Beth and Dana, a lot of people have the right instinct in this case. The first thing you want to do is you want to run. Do everything you can to escape. Many people leaving right through these doors. Second, if you can't do that, try to hide, be quiet, just stay where you are, and don't look at that shooter. And finally, the absolute last resort is to actually fight. It's in that order. But it turns out last night the gun wasn't real, according to police, but no one knew that at the time. Just imagine how terrifying this was for these people. Police, we saw them taking people out. Some people were hiding in the parking garages, others in dressing rooms inside the mall and elsewhere. It's late, so families had young kids and they had to be exposed to this as well. This whole thing took hours to wrap up. That meant for some people they had to wait a long time to see and hug their loved ones. Thankfully, no shots were fired. No one was hurt. And again, they have arrested that masked man with a gun. Parker Collins, 13 Action News.
Parker, thank you. You can imagine the response was large in the wake of the 1 October attack.
Yeah, we spoke with our crime and safety expert, retired Metro Lieutenant Randy Sutton, to get some perspective on the response.
You saw a massive police response today, and the reason you saw that was because when they see a man with a gun, as witnesses reported, in a crowded mall, that is a very, very high priority incident. The fact that there were no shots fired, well, even if there were not, they're still going to respond pretty much in the same way.
Well, Sutton also says the priority is on finding the gunman, like they did, isolating that person, evacuating the area, and if shots are fired, taking the suspect down. Again, just to reiterate, they did catch that man, and they say that it was a fake gun that he was carrying.
We are working hard to bring you every detail as soon as it becomes available. Once we know more about the motive or the suspect, we will bring it to you on air and online.
Good morning, Las Vegas. It is 5:32 now. Let's get started with Justin Bruce, who's over there with the all-important Friday and weekend forecast.
And temperature-wise, looking pretty good, starting comfortably in the 60s around many parts of the valley. Our chilly spot, 62 at Sunrise Manor, relatively speaking. 69 degrees at McCarran. That's nice, 63 in Anthem. We are looking at a lot of sunshine this morning. Sun just coming up right now across the eastern horizon. We'll spend the morning commute in the 70s, but then push through the 80s after 10 o'clock this morning. Look for highs awfully close to 90 degrees later on this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine. A reminder about the high UV index. Yes, sunburn can happen in as few as 15 minutes during the middle of the day. Let me show you an accident. Northbound lanes of the 15. This is just past the Craig exit, so we're up in the northeast part of the valley. See a lot of police lights out here. Looks like we've got at least a couple of northbound lanes of the 15 still free. Here's where that accident is. That's the only big problem spot we've got on the freeways. A couple hours ago, had an injury accident. Spring Mountain at Lindell hasn't officially cleared, but not slowing things down. Spaghetti Bowl drive times are green. It's early enough that you don't need to worry about a slowdown. Here's a look at the 95. Of course, you know this is going to be completely shut down starting at midnight tonight. A full closure in both the northbound lanes will have you jumping off at Main Street, Casino Center, Las Vegas Boulevard, or Eastern to detour around the traffic. If you're coming in from the west side, well, southbound lanes of the 15, southbound lanes of the 95, rather, you'll jump off at Rancho Valley View and Decatur. But guys, big problems near the Spaghetti Bowl this weekend. Avoid it if you can.
Thanks so much, Justin. That closure meant to allow crews to concentrate on building a brand new bridge right over the 95.
But we wanted to dig deeper into the project as a whole. Is it on time? Is it on budget? We want to know. And Yasmin Hassan got us the answers you'll see only on 13 Action News.
We really need these improvements now because traffic's only going to get worse. I mean, according to our projections, it's going to almost double over the next 20 years.
Project Neon includes 28 new bridges. This weekend, crews will be building one over the 95. 6 concrete beams will be put into place. They are 170 feet long and weigh 200,000 pounds each. That's why this closure is needed. People can't be driving on the 95 while these massive beams are being moved overhead. During the closure, crews will be working around the clock. So far, 1 million man-hours of work have been completed on Project Neon. It's on time, on budget, and 65% complete. According to NDOT, the project couldn't have come at a better time.
We're seeing more visitors, we're seeing more growth, we're seeing more businesses moving here. We're seeing more development, more commercial development, more housing tracts, and with that comes traffic.
Roughly 180,000 vehicles go through the 95 on a weekend day. So this closure is going to affect a lot of people. And there are more to come. In the next year, there are 5 full closures planned before construction wraps up July 2019.
Stay calm, take a deep breath, and progress is coming. And keep in mind, come next summer, your commute time will be shaved by nearly 30% through this corridor.
Yasmin Hassan, 13 Action News.
All right, thank you, Yasmin. It will be a busy weekend here in the Valley, so McCarran is sending out a warning to all travelers.
Yeah, the airport tweeted out this message warning passengers that the Terminal 1 long-term parking garage may reach capacity. Customers will be redirected to another lot if that occurs.
We're learning more this morning about the Bonanza teacher accused of making a terroristic threat. Leslie McGordy did not want to talk on camera, but she told us a text conversation between her and an acquaintance took a turn, and those text messages were then sent to police. We don't know exactly what they said. She's not telling us, but she did tell us she thinks her words were taken out of context.
Well, twice a year, the Health District puts the Clark County School District under an inspection microscope, looking for safety hazards affecting students and staff.
As Chief Investigator Darcy Spears found, there are problems at nearly every school, often left to linger.
Missing toilet seats and dirty, slimy drinking fountains. Mold at Woodbury Junior High and at Knudsen, where staff and students were getting sick. Water-stained ceiling tiles, often still there 5 months later.
Well, if safety is number one, then let's keep our eye on the properties and make sure that we're getting things taken care of before they become a big issue.
Inspections from the past 2 years show high school locker rooms at Canyon Springs and Mojave infested with roaches, rat droppings and nests in the football concession stand at Centennial and the bioscience storage room at Liberty, dead bugs in the culinary class ice machine at Silverado, and expired food and mold growing in the home economics class refrigerator at Sierra Vista.
Despite all that, the health district says those schools are compliant, expecting CCSD to fix most problems without follow-up from the health district. You can find my full story, plus reports and photos on our website at ktnv.com. Darcy Spears, 13 Action News.
All right, well, President Trump continues his meeting with the leader of NATO today after he faced tough questions about North Korea yesterday.
The upcoming meeting between the North and the U.S. may be in jeopardy. Yesterday, the president distanced himself from his national security advisor, who called on the North to follow in the steps of Libya, which ousted its dictator from power after the country gave up its nuclear program.
The Libyan model that was mentioned was a much different deal. This would be with Kim Jong-un, something where he'd be there, he'd be in his country, he'd be running his country.
North Korea now threatening to pull out of the June summit because of the Libya comment, but the president says he hasn't heard anything about that. New this morning, production will resume on America's best-selling truck today. Earlier this month, a fire at a parts facility halted production on the Ford F-150s. Thousands of employees were temporarily laid off, so it was a big blow to those families. Now Ford is expecting to take a $500 million hit from that production lag.
It is Chopper 13. For breaking news, Yasmin Hassan is checking things out around the valley and will bring us everything you need to know. Gorgeous shot this morning.
And still ahead, a health alert you need to know about what doctors discovered inside one of their patients who smokes that they had never seen before.
And desperate times call for desperate measures. What a passenger who was running late for his flight did that landed him behind bars. Yeah, we don't recommend it, folks.
Some good 20-mile-per-hour breezes this afternoon, no big deal. On Saturday, a few nuisance 25-mile-per-hour gusts. Sunday, here's the first alert about some wind to finish off the weekend. I'm going to time out some big temperature changes, and we'll talk rain chances in your 7-day planner.